we were talking about your transition. Today you tried as hard as you could to get a squeak of HCG out of the bottle, and it's gone.
It's gone.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, it makes me nervous to kind of be thrust into stage 2 a little bit before I was like mentally prepared to be going to stage 2, and so I was really glad that we had our appointment today so we could talk about strategies for being in stage 2 because it makes me nervous.
Well, the good news is you're not going to be on the second phase for Thanksgiving. So now you can actually have the mashed potatoes, you can have the stuffing if you want it. However, we need to prepare you for that because those foods are hormonally very powerful. Mm-hmm. Much more powerful than butter. Right. Than, something as simple as olive oil or olives or avocado. Those fattier foods don't really create such huge hormonal fluctuations. And so you've got 3 weeks to prepare for the addition of foods that do create a little bit of hormonal instability. Now, it's not to say that you should avoid those foods forever, that you can't have those foods forever, because when you look at the long-term idea of what you want to do with food for the rest of your life, when you see it from a place of balance, does it make sense if you don't have an allergy to eliminate food forever out of fear?
Right, no.
So when you were just saying that you're scared. Mm-hmm. Tell me what you're scared of.
Well, I guess not knowing what the right choice is for stage 2. Mm-hmm. I feel like once I get past stage 2 and I don't have kind of the semi-restrictions of stage 2, that I feel really comfortable in not having guilt for what I am going to choose, not feeling like, I'm judging myself and being able to prioritize what do I really want, what am I really craving. But in stage 2, I'm just really worried about that, hormonal trigger where I eat one little bit of something that I shouldn't and kaboom, all my weight loss is gone, or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I know I'm not doing this for the weight loss. I'm doing this to learn.
That's understandable. Mm-hmm. However, almost everybody goes into the second phase afraid that they're going to gain all of this weight back. Do you feel physically better?
Oh gosh, yes. So much.
Do you feel hormonally as if do you feel younger?
Yeah, I feel better every way that you can think of.
Are you afraid of that? That will go away. The feelings of well-being, the health, how good you feel, the energy you have.
The confidence I have. Mm-hmm. I feel really confident now. And I'm afraid if I make a misstep, I won't feel as confident.
Okay. Well, there is some gray. The beauty of using the hunger scale is it is perfectly tailoring this to you so you can have less fear. Okay? Now, if I were giving you a very specific diet, where you're pre-calculating the calories, where we are formulating how many grams of this, how many grams of that, wouldn't you agree that on some level that would make you feel more secure? But on the same note, you're giving me a lot of trust to know exactly what your body needs, as if I have that type of intelligence, right?
Right. Well, plus, I'm not, we have talked in the past about baby steps, and if that were the case, I wouldn't be progressing.
Nope. You would be still reliant on someone else to tell you. So the risk, even though me telling you exactly what to do would feel safe, in reality that is not the case.
Right.
A pre-formulated diet, preset for each individual as the same thing, is very flawed.
Right. And like we've talked about before, my body knows what it needs. And so if I feel like I want, something with butter in it, then,
that's what you have to do.
Right, exactly.
And you have to trust, even though you have been indoctrinated and fearful about food because the diet industry has created that fear-based motivation, you have to trust that even though there's fear and your body feels fear, that you're willing to take the risk to find out if it's wrong, if what's in the food is truly making you fat, or is it the mistiming or hormonal misalignment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So Right now, what I tell everybody is to assume you're going to gain all of this fat back. Get your worst fear and just assume it's going to happen. That way you're willing to take the risk. Too often, people are not willing to accept that fat gain, so they start to micromanage. They start to over-control. And what happens when you over-control and restrict out of fear of gaining? You feel restricted and deprived. And so when you get into an environment where you have access to foods that you're criticizing, judging, and controlling yourself from, what do you think you're going to do?
You're going to eat too much of them.
Yes, because you've been deprived of them. Right. And so you end up playing that same yo-yo game. And in order to keep you from that, you've got to accept, you know what, the risk here in not using some outside controls that are out here, that includes your weight as a monitor of control. The risk is that you're going to gain all of this weight back. That's what it feels like. So what I'm asking you to do is make that assumption. You're going to gain this all back so that you're willing to take this risk in a way that isn't all or nothing. So that you can go into it and say, you know what? I'm going to eat this way because I need to learn how foods with fat influence my hunger rhythms. Can you see how that takes out all of that ego control based on body image disorder?
Yes.
So during this, we will weigh you today. We'll get your body fat composition today. We're not going to, I don't want you monitoring anything during the next 3 weeks so that you can put all of your effort into navigating with the compass of your hunger. To trust it. To add those fats in, how do they taste? How do they affect your hormones? You remember what it felt like the first day you took that HCG? Or the first day on the very low calorie protocol? Do you remember how vulnerable and scary that was?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing right now.
Right.
Because now the HCG is out of your system. You've developed trust that you feel fabulous. It's working beautifully. You know that hunger is manageable. Now you've got to develop trust again without the HCG. How do you feel? And you can't compare your body today to what you were before you started the very low calorie protocol. Because hormonally, we've changed things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are so many ways that I see that.
Yeah.
I sleep better. I can tell that
Sex
I've
drive,
changed,
Your skin.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of benefits. The other thing is, in the second phase, as you're learning to understand your body and without the HCG and learning how fats influence your hunger rhythms, you are going to start to develop even more information about your body. The cravings, remember how you said when I'm having cravings? You're going to be a witness now to the influence of fats, which, to be honest with you, are so satiating. Mm-hmm. They curb your palate. Mm-hmm. By removing fat from the diet in the 1980s and 90s, we really set ourselves up for some major issues with food. So let's say you do what I'm asking you to do. You still feel good. You still have energy. Body temperature is stable. Everything is good. And you come back in and you have maintained. What does that change for you?
I'll be really excited.
Does that not give you like the last piece of confidence that you need?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Is it worth taking the risk?
Right. Yes, absolutely.
So let go of your weight and let yourself take the risk.
In every other diet I've done, if I were to just be let go, I wouldn't maintain.
Well, no, because you only know what the diet is, and anything outside of that is fair game and full of guilt. Mm-hmm. Plus,
and that's why this isn't a diet. It's totally different.
Well, we went into this specifically it's like training a dog. Mm-hmm. We truly tried to train you to eat with hunger rhythms and to trust that it works, to know that you're feeling good. And if you can just continue that doesn't change at all. You just need to get rid of the habit of time, quantity, all of those things that if you look at the diet industry, it's all based on eating per time in a pre-portion sized quantity. It's all out there. None of it is in here. And what we said is ignore out there, get into here. And now we're going to really do it. One of the things I describe it as is we just gave you a compass. during the protocol, the very low calorie phase, you learned how to use the compass in an area where you could see the end result. So if we said you're going to go this direction, you're going to go towards that right there, you could see it and go, okay, here's north, go for it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Well, right now, you're going to use that compass and you can't see where you're going. You got to use that tool blind, unaware of where the end result is. Can you focus in on this without using a visual aid such as weight and your clothes as a gauge?
Makes sense.
You have to be really confident in yourself and in your assessment of hunger. Do you feel at this point that you've been thoroughly prepared for this point?
I do.
I totally agree. Congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you.
Do you want to weigh yourself?
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to use our other skill.
That one?
Yes. We'll use this when the camera's off.
Okay.
Go ahead and step on. Do you mind if I tell them your start weight?
No.
215, 216 pounds. So it's been about, I don't know, 40-ish days. Wow. And you're 187.
Wow.
You shocked?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
I think it's wonderful. That's
Well,
great. But
it works.
But I mean,
You've been here before.
That's the Band-Aid, that shows I've dealt with the symptom. Yeah, does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah, like I wrote in the book, Band-Aid, gaping wound. If you don't heal the wound, a Band-Aid is useless. Mm-hmm. But or stop cutting yourself type mm-hmm. of mentality. You haven't weighed since I saw you last. Are you shocked?
I think that's
fantastic. Remember that stalled?
Mm-hmm.
And I told you this is normal, this is fluid, the moon is full, wait. Was I not? I know I've seen this enough to know that we do not need to weigh you.
Right.
I just don't need to if you're following the protocol.
Yeah.
There is no need. There is no need to use the scale.
And I think since our last visit, when we did that last weigh-in before now, I've really felt very confident in what I'm eating, what I'm doing, managing my hunger through the hunger scale, and
holding yourself accountable to it.
Exactly. And that's just, proof of it, I guess.
Would you say that since the beginning to the end that this has gotten easier and easier and easier?
Absolutely, yeah. To
where our rating of success is your diminished desire to eat without hunger.
Absolutely.
So eating with emotion, that has diminished.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense to me now. Before I started the protocol, oh my gosh, then...
That's just what you do?
Yeah, I would do it all the time.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.